So Prusa have released a open source RFID system for 3D printers. They're calling it Open Print Tag. There's one downside to it right now that's like kind of glaring to me, but I think it can be dealt with. Prusa have released a open source RFID system for 3D printers. They're calling it Open Print Tag. There's one downside to it right now that's like kind of glaring to me, but I think it can be dealt with, is that the spools read on the full 360. So you can't measure revolutions. This system would stop that. So Prusa is already converting over Prusament rolls to use these tags. The tags, I might add, that are fully rewritable. And you can buy the tags. They're a little pricey from Prusa. They're about 50 cents a piece, when the raw RFID tags are something like 10 cents, if not less, in a decent volume. But it's still a good system for those out there that want some level of RFID. Now, it's not the open standard that Mitch from Polar Filament was working on, which is a bit of a bummer to me, but he has some, and he doesn't hate it. So I'll take that as a, not a vote of confidence, but not a vote of non-confidence. So
I'm actually going to call out 3DQF because I love the guys there and I know they can take it. Please put the name of the filament somewhere on the face of the reel, not just a color code on the inside of the spool. Because the way 3DQF do it is they're a very... Again, it's going to sound really bad. They make the highest quality films that I've got my hands on with the shittest spool design that I have ever seen. But I understand why as well. I agree with their decision process. So they just use like corrugated cardboard and then a cardboard tube in the middle.
Yeah.
The cardboard tube in the middle, the lining of the paper of the inside is the type of filament it is. So
put a sticker on the outside of it.
That's it. They don't use stickers. They laser everything, but they use universal spools. So they use the color of the cardboard tube on the inside as the way to tell you which. Pink is ABS. I don't know what color ASA is because I haven't bought it. White and green is PLA, I think. And the problem is, I don't know. Because they don't have the word PLA anywhere on it.
That's a bit of a problem.
An open RFID tag system fixes that, because the amount of times I've accidentally picked up black PETG and black PLA and black ABS and put them in a machine and I got the settings wrong because I just picked up the wrong wheel from the wrong like stock area, has destroyed hot ends. And that's not the filament manufacturer's fault, that's the user's fault. But at the same time, it's us as a developer, it's our job to minimize the amount of steps possible to make a fault. It's the Swiss cheese effect. Like, we see it all the time with aircraft where you can have individual faults, but if there's enough layers, it won't hit the dangerous time. The problem is, for filament, there are no checks. You are the one and only check, which is I've loaded this reel in and I've told the slicer what it is. That isn't great. That is a user experience fault waiting to happen, and it puts cognitive load on the user to remember this. And especially if you're running a print farm where you're doing like multiple materials, you don't want to be checking 100 printers for which reel is loaded in which machine.
Honestly, dude, the RFID system that Bamboo's implemented is great. I think it works well. There's still a part of me that's like, they implemented a system to lock people onto their materials and their materials only.
Yes.
They just unlocked it when people got pissy. You still get extra value from their spools of like, it tells you how much is left and that kind of stuff, which you don't get from anybody else's. So it is nice to see an open source standard. The problem here is it needs adoption. And so Prusa's obviously going to adopt it. There were other manufacturers on the Open Print Tag website that are going to be adopting it. And I think that that's the important thing. If we can get adoption across as many manufacturers, both of machines end of Filament as possible, we can start setting a standard in the industry for a fully rewritable tag. Now, the question was asked of how often can it be rewrited? I have no clue.
Normally they're 50 to 500 times at most. My pub is older than your country. Your country is such a bloody joke.
Like, dude, we stayed in an Airbnb in Prague that was older than the United States. Yes, any place that we travel, we can find buildings older than the country. Yes, it's not difficult.
I'm literally just thinking that, like, I have seen bottles of wine older than your country.
I mean, good on him for keeping the wine still good for that long.
I'm from Malta. Like, we have motorways or highways that have aqueducts between them.
We call them gutters,
because they're
Jacob.
just there.
We call them gutters.
Yeah, I know they call them gutters, but, like, come on. Like, you get your little Tupperware plastic gutters, and I get Roman aqueducts.